Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for tuning in. So today's topic is about breastfeeding and breast pumping. Well, this is because I did a review of a breast pump and I noticed that many people gave their opinions about breastfeeding and breast pumping. Some of them preferred the breastfeeding method and others talked about breast pumping. Well, I'm going to give the reasons and advantages for both feeding methods. And of course, we all know that breastfeeding is the nature's way or the biological way of meeting babies' nutritional needs through the breast milk, and it is the most recommended method. So there are other advantages like it is the main food supply for a baby until the baby is around 6 months. And of course, if a mother wants to breastfeed over the 6 months, it's upon the mother and the baby if they are comfortable with it and if the baby wants to continue breastfeeding. But recommended is until the 6 months. The other advantage of breastfeeding is the baby's immunity is strengthened because the baby gets vitamins, antibodies, other components like carbohydrates, fats, hormones, and so on. And through these antibodies and components, the baby's immunity becomes stronger and also its growth increases the right way. And of course, as the baby breastfeeds, the body of the mother produces milk according to the baby's needs, and also the composition is different at different times. Like when a baby is born, the composition of the milk at the beginning is different from the composition of the milk after some days or after months. Yes, and that as the baby continues to grow, the milk changes its composition and also depends on the time of the day. Yes, the other advantage is supply. The baby is able to get what it needs from breastfeeding. The baby knows exactly what it needs, and the mother's body produces milk according to what the baby needs. As long as the mother is eating well and healthy and drinking enough, then she produces milk according to the amount of milk that the baby needs. Well, this is like the supply and demand rule, whereby the more the baby breastfeeds, the more the milk will be produced. Yes, it's nature's way. Yes, the other advantage of breastfeeding is bonding. The mother's relationship to the baby is strengthened because of this skin-to-skin contact. The baby and the mother are able to bond, and also the baby gets warmth, comfort, and easily soothed through this contact. Another advantage of breastfeeding is affordability. Milk is always there, no struggles to look for this milk, and it doesn't mean that this milk is free, because a mother has to do or put a lot of effort to be able to produce the milk. Like she has to eat healthy and also eat enough, drink enough to be able to produce enough milk. Yes, those are the main advantages. If there are more reasons and advantages, you can of course comment below and let me know. Well, I will now talk about breast pumping and reasons for breast pumping. Well, the thing is, with breast pumping, there are some circumstances that will force a mother to do breast pumping. Like mostly if there are problems of breastfeeding, like if a baby is not able to breastfeed directly from the mother, that way a mother has to do a breast pumping to be able to provide breast milk for the baby. If the baby has oral defect, then of course the mother has to do the breast pumping. The other reason is some women have flat nipples such that the baby cannot attach its mouth, or such that the baby is not able to suckle. And in such a situation, of course, the mother is forced to do breast pumping. And the other reason for breast pumping is mostly some women or some mothers think that the baby are not able to get enough milk, and think that when the baby cries a lot, it's hungry. And yes, this is the other reason, to be able to produce enough milk. So some mothers opt to like pump after every feeding, and so the body reacts to this, and also the body thinks that it should produce more milk. The other reason for pumping is to prevent breast engorgement. Breast engorgement is the situation whereby breasts become so full with milk such that they become so painful and so sensitive. And normally, if one has breast engorgement already, it is also important not to stimulate the breasts to produce more, which when they are already engorged, it's better to take something cool to cool the breast. But of course, one should be very careful with pumping, because the more you pump, the more the body thinks it should produce milk. So when you pump more, the more the body produces, or the more the breasts will become full, because the body thinks that it should produce milk. Milk is needed. So it is very important to understand how to pump and to prevent more problems. The other reason for breast pumping is also to prevent the risk of mastitis. We know that when one does not breastfeed and breasts are full for days and this milk is not being released, it can also lead to mastitis. So to prevent that, it's sometimes important to do a breast pumping. And another reason for breast pumping is some women have to go to work. They have to go to work before maybe like 6 months, or early when the baby is still so little, and they have to breast pump to leave milk for the baby. Another reason is also like some women want to give their baby milk according to time, like schedule feeding. So they plan like giving the milk after every 3 hours or after every 2 hours. So through breast pumping, they know exactly the baby is getting a certain amount of milk. So they try and pump this amount of milk all the time. And the other reason for breast pumping is also like when a baby is separated from the mother for various reasons, then of course the mother has to do breast pumping. Well, the other reason for breast pumping is also when someone or a mother gets a premature baby and the baby has to be in the hospital for a certain period of time, of course. And also when the baby is premature, the baby cannot breastfeed because the ability to suckle, or the baby is not strong enough to be able to breastfeed by itself. So that way the mother will have to do breast pumping. So ineffective latch, if a baby does not latch properly, that's also another reason for breast pumping. Well, those are some of the reasons for breastfeeding and breast pumping. Well, it is upon the mother to choose which strategy works well for her and for her baby, or also combine both methods. Like some people will combine the breastfeeding and breast pumping. Like I said earlier, some do breastfeeding and after the feeding they do breast pumping to extract that, or to express that the remaining milk. So guys, I will leave a link on the description box on where to get more information about breastfeeding and breast pumping, and also where I got some of this information about breastfeeding and breast pumping. And thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you in my next video.